Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another Hero House Reviews. We're doing another 2-pack today as we look at the Marvel 80 years, or 80 anniversary, Hela and Skurge 2-pack from Thor Ragnarok. Now, Thor Ragnarok was probably my favourite Marvel movie overall at this stage. I mean, it's just got a very unique atmosphere. It basically redeemed the movies. I always thought they got unnecessary hate, but Thor Ragnarok really did sort of lift the game with those movies and make Thor as a character something very unique with a greater role in the Marvel Universe, so well done to that. And Hela herself was a very well done villain, and Skurge is problematic in that I like the character in the movie, but they were trying to shoehorn in a very iconic moment in the comics, and you can't do it in one movie and then do it justice. So that kind of fell flat for me, which is a shame, especially since, it means we don't get to have more Karl Urban appearing in the Marvel Universe, because I did like him as Skurge. So that was a bit of a misstep in the movie, but otherwise I feel it was a very strong entry, and these figures reflect that in that they themselves are very strong. Well, I guess we'll... who do we start with? Let's start with Hela. One moment. Alright, so as you can see, Hela is quite tall and impressive. Now, she's already had a figure released in the Marvel Legends line when Thor Ragnarok first came out, but this includes a few goodies that one didn't have. She's got 2 extra heads, the effect piece, which is a recolor of the magic that came with Scarlet Witch in the Family Matters 3-pack. She's also got an extra hand that's her holding and breaking Thor's hammer, that pivotal scene in the movie. So it's cool that we can recreate all of that. Her cape also detaches, so there's a lot going on with her. She's got some pretty good articulation. I always hate how they seem to sacrifice articulation in female figures, because I don't think it's necessary to also, convey a female form. You can do that and still have high-quality movement in a figure. But as you can see, she's got a butterfly joint for her arms. It's not the best. She's got elbow swivel, but not bicep swivel. Wrist articulation bends quite well. Thigh swivel. Double jointed knees. Not double jointed elbows? No, not double joint. Oh yeah, double jointed elbows. And little bit, basically a tiny bit of ab swivel and heads on a ball joint. So, she can move. She can move. Her balance isn't fantastic because she's got really long legs and tiny, tiny feet. So that hinders her a bit. Still, she is a very impressive figure. Very tall. Very, very tall, as the Asgardians should be. So, that's a plus. She is a strong figure, I guess. I'll show her the pictures, I'll show you the pictures of her in her various incarnations that you can make, which are plentiful. So, she's excellent value. She'd justify the cost alone in terms of, she's one of those sort of ultimate edition releases. The only downside is she doesn't come with her sort of iconic weaponry in, the black swords. So that's disappointing. Anyway, let's pop her away for now, and let's swing in Skurge. Now, his balance, quite a bit better. He's an impressive figure. I love the sculpt on him for numerous reasons. I mean, his armor design looks fantastic. The, face of Karl Urban is very well done. And because he's wearing magnificent armor, and it's Karl Urban, it takes me back to the old Lord of the Rings figurines. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but I collected the shit out of those. It was like a hobby of my mom and I. We would just track them down, and we have an enormous collection, and they were great figurines. I think it might be what started my, true passion for action figures, so yeah, it's weird having him here because it's giving me nostalgia. And it might be making me biased, but again, he has some great articulation. He's got, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, heads on a ball joint, ab crunch, swivel, I guess, double jointed knees, not much ankle pivot. Oh, no, he's got ankle pivot, and double jointed knees. So, arms on a butterfly joint? No. But good joints at the shoulders. So a very well-moving, well-made figure. His balance, again, better, but not perfect. Marvel Legends figures seem to not have as good a balance as, say, the Lightning Collection. They need to work on their ankles. As you see, he comes with an axe that Hela made for him, which is quite impressive, well sculpted. It looks like it's made from obsidian, so I don't know, if you want to do something Games of Thrones-ish with it, you could. He also comes with a set of extra hands, and Des and Troy, his guns. So you've got a lot here with Executioner. Not as much as we got with Hela, but like enough to justify him and to justify the existence of this 2-pack. And he's a character who probably wouldn't have gotten a single release. So it's fun to have him. Interesting we got him before we ever got Heimdall, who's like a much more important figure to the Thor mythos so far. But anyway, that's digressing. Together, they form quite an impressive 2-pack. They look magnificent. Hela's face is well done. Like, she captures Cate Blanchett's likeness very well also. And the helmet is so regal and cool. I think Thor Ragnarok is an important movie as well in terms of Australian cinema, Australian and New Zealand cinema, because it had so many of our actors getting involved in the Marvel Universe, and it basically was the catalyst for a new deal that's going to see a lot of Marvel movies made in Australia, which is also going to kickstart our film industry. So think what you will about the movie, and I understand that it's divisive, but it's a big thing for Australia and New Zealand. So we should always be grateful for the movie in that regard. But again, anyway, I'm going off point. I'm going to give this I'm going to say 5 out of 5 at this stage. I haven't found any glaring flaws. There's a tiny bit of paintwork scuff on Skurge's belt buckle, but I'm not going to mark it down for that. Hela's also got some sloppy paint on the shoulders, and it's quite noticeable. 4.5. Unless the pictures completely redeem it, 4.5. They needed to clean up that paint. Alright, let's move on to the pictures. 1 second. And there you have it. So, yeah, this is an amazing pack. Still 4.5 out of 5 because there are some sloppy paint apps that I did notice the more I went along. Some of Hela's costume has scraped off. One of her faces seems to have had an eye that's run. Nothing too drastic that ruins the figure, but it does bring it down from a perfect 5. That said, having fiddled around with all the various heads and accessories, Hela has been boosted a lot, in my opinion. This current look she's got going on, this slicked back hair with the cape, I think it really makes her look regal and queenly. I don't know, but it just makes her seem like an intimidating villain. I think they absolutely nailed the Cate Blanchett sculpt on this one. And there isn't a weak head amongst the bunch. You could have a favourite that's any of them and you would be correct. And the guns for Skurge look fantastic. His fingers don't fit in the triggers that well, which is disappointing. So again, it sticks with a 4.5 out of 5. It's not perfect, but if you like the movie, this is definitely worth getting. If you missed grabbing the original Hela figure, this is definitely a good way to make up for that. You won't have the sword, but you'll have a whole lot more. And I just can't get over the size. Like, they're so tall. And Hela's taller than Skurge, so like, good on them for making her such a big figure, because she is like one of the most powerful villains the movies have given us thus far. So, you know, it's nice to have that in a figure. And her articulation is pretty good. So, not what it could be. Really wish she had that bicep swivel. Really wish they stopped, like, stiffing female figures on the arms. But again, digressing. This is a fantastic pack with some excellent sculpting, some excellent articulation, and amazing accessories. It's great value for money, and I can't recommend it more, especially if you're a fan of Thor Ragnarok. Pick this up. Otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed this review. We have plenty more, and if you want to see the action figures in action, head to Figure Fights or Hero House. Both are a great time. Thank you for watching, and all the best. See you again. Bye.